Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Roast Battles, everyone. Hi, I'm Stu, a man who has hosted this show before but was not aware he had to do his own introduction. And so you heard the introductory sting twice. So you've already got your money's worth. And believe me, has anyone ever been to Roast Battles before? You will know I'm speaking the truth, because the quality of comedy you're going to get on this stage is questionable at best. What happens, if you're not familiar with the format of Roast Battles, two people considerably less fortunate than yourselves will be stood on this stage, right, insulting each other. Now, if you were to see someone in the street and just insult them, you just go, you look like a paedophile, is that your tie, or did your neck throw up? Shit like that. We expect a higher degree of insult from these people, but this is the twist we like to present at this roast battle. We never get it. So you're going to be seeing people called a paedophile, but in new and less interesting ways. You look like you could be a paedophile, but you haven't got the balls to be a paedophile. That kind of shit. So some of you have been here already and have come back to see another one because you like to see people with autism get beat up on. For those of you who haven't been before, welcome to the greatest comedy show in town. Not necessarily tonight, but when looking back on your deathbed memories, this will be in there towards the back behind napkins you have lost as one of the great moments of your life. We have some of the finest I can't finish that sentence. We have some of the most available comedians who were willing to put in the work to meet the people they were going to be roasting, going, like a paedophile. Write down those ideas and then come do that for, and I cannot stress this to you enough, no money. There are so many comedians out there who feel that this show is beneath them. Why am I here? Because I was scheduled to do a different show, but in my case, that show pays less. So here I am, stressing my love, not only for this fine simulation of a living room, but also this wonderful, wonderful show that has a magnet-like pull on, I can only assume, as sadists who want to see less fortunate people get brutally kicked. Some of them will not recover from what's going to happen to them. Some of them will just never do comedy again. It can be argued some of them never did comedy in the first place. But yeah, remember that sound of applause? You won't be hearing that again, I promise. If I know. It does take a bit of chutzpah, as the Jews say, to get on the stage and in front of people and insult someone else in the hope of that's begging for your laughs and attention. And we have at least 2 full columns of a 3-column room. So what's going to happen? These people will come on stage, introduced in twos. They will be filmed, and that film is being broadcast now as I speak across the internet to people lonelier than yourselves. Lonelier even than the people who are coming on stage. Not lonelier than me. I have friends. I'm doing this for money. But when they come up on stage, give them a huge round of applause, make them feel welcome, get their confidence up. We've set these at an arbitrary height. There's some fun to be had by watching the smaller ones wrestle with it. Try and get it down to their level. But why are they doing this? For the exposure? No! The empty seats? No! For the credibility? No. Why are they doing this? I honestly don't know. Because it counts as a social interaction and it's one step closer to the ankle tag coming off. I don't know. But they will be competing for one valuable prize. They will be competing because they will have their moment in the spotlight insulting each other. And then that spotlight will be taken away from both of them as they return to their normal, drab lives. But one of them will be leaving a winner, with you cheering and applauding wildly as they taste the last vestiges of fame in their mouth. And the other one will go back to the darkness with your hatred and your booing ringing in their ears. So let's pretend we've just seen a roast battle. Pedophile, right? And so we elect this person on my right as the winner. All right. This show is, if I haven't made this clear, this show is rather like a sewer. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it, all right? So, but this person has lost and are leaving in shame. Boo them! Boo! Fucking boo! The bridge is that way. Right? Only the cold embrace of death awaits. Now, you may be thinking, who are these cunts? Well, it's not for me to judge who has won. It's not for you to judge either. Fuck no. So we have professional people here. People who have done this, won, survived, and been hired at paying normal comedy shows where they have made upwards of 6 people laugh cumulatively over years. Will you please welcome your judges? It's Jody Sloan and Daniel Petrie, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Daniel, what are you looking for tonight? You share that microphone. Yes, let's pretend COVID's still a thing. What are you looking for tonight from your contestants?
Always good to see some jokes. If they're insulting, that's even better. Some people just do the insult without the joke. That's a key pitfall of this game.
It is.
You see a lot of that. Let's just have a good, clean fight.
That's a very noble sentiment from a man who has never judged this before. This is, yes, the first pitfall is, of course, applying and getting up on stage. Jodie, what are you looking for in this fight?
I'm a barista in my day job, so I have a lot of pent-up anger, and I would like to see some people with autism, as you said, not my words,
well, yeah.
Take some emotional damage.
Take some emotional damage, yeah. It really does bring out the Roman emperor in you, this game. And you see that? Just a word of advice to everyone, all the comedians at the back. See that? She's got a day job. Something to think about. Now, who are the first pair of close personal friends? I have my own, thank you. Ah! Wonderful. We're going to start off with the man who actually organises this event. He's a very good comedian, but I don't know why he's doing this. He is excellent, and he's brought on friends. So please, a round of applause and some encouragement for Ryan Cullen and Luca Diaz!
Well, you've got your autism wish, I know.
How you doing? Bless you all. Right, shh. Church is about to begin. You might think, why is this fucking idiot dressed like this? I know I am. That's because I came dressed as Ryan's favourite porn category. Sister. No, what it was is at the last roast battle, I was dressed as an elf, and I said to Ryan, what costume should I get for the next one? He said, none. Strap in, they're going to get better. I was going to come dressed as Jack Black if I knew I was roasting a live-action skeleton from a Minecraft movie. Ryan, if you're here, who's at home looking after the minions? Because you look like Gru.
Okay. Right. Well, obviously, Lucha's dad's cum is out of date. This is what happens, when you wait 24 years patiently for John Cena to visit your bedside. You may not... Sorry, I can't even look at this cunt. He didn't tell me he was going to come dressed like this fucking mess. Fucking 2 fake breasts and he's still the biggest fucking tit. Going to be as blunt here as I possibly can, right? Because Lucha looks like he has sexually assaulted so many children, it's left himself disabled.
Not in my parish.
Now, I understand this is the first battle. This is quite a heavily offensive thing to say. And I know after the past 20 years we've educated and learned, and we shouldn't be using words like massive retard. But come on.
Forgive me, Father. Ryan is very active on social media. You can usually find him on Twitter, writing underneath women's pictures, asking Grok to undress them.
Oh, you're safe, anyway.
Interesting fact, Ryan shares a birthday with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Another interesting fact is Ryan had a cancerous tumour removed from his jaw. So if Ryan was Shawn Michaels, his finisher would be called the Six-Chin Music.
By the way, if you don't know what's happening, this is a Scottish luchador, yeah? Well, I don't think you've never been to Mexico, obviously.
Arriba.
Yeah, no. He probably thinks Cinco de Mayo is a fucking sandwich filler. Lucha, do you identify as a Mexican because you also find it hard to get paid work? Yeah, so Lucha here has obviously been pinned to the floor by hundreds of men. Yeah, he loved it. Loved it so much he decided to take up wrestling.
It's cheaper than Grindr. In Ryan's facts, he told me that he once turned down sex with a porn star because he was having too much fun with his mates. Aye, matey. That happens to me all the time. No, really, Ryan turned down sex with a porn star. Where did you meet Ron Jeremy?
Fuck's sake. Well, this is going to be the least surprising news you'll hear tonight, but Lucha's brother committed suicide. Now, there was no note left, but the forensics are pretty sure it was from second-hand embarrassment. Lucha, look at this. Yeah, Lucha's brother committed suicide. Lucha's mum died of cancer, and his dad had a heart attack on a bus and died. Yet somehow, Lucha, you are the biggest tragedy in that fucking family. That is what's left to carry on his family's legacy. Like a man that covers most of his face with a mask, but not his cleft palate, which kind of suggests that's his best of.
I tried covering it and I couldn't fucking breathe. Ryan grew up in Ireland during the Troubles. Ryan's dad may have been in the IRA, and Ryan's dad once killed a dolphin.
That's a long story, but yes.
Yeah. My dad once killed a deer when he was driving a taxi by accident, but Ryan's dad done it on purpose. Fucking porpoise. Ryan also told me that he has been hit by 7 different cars. You would think after the second or third car bomb, he would have stood further back.
I can't believe he did the porpoise joke and then followed it with that. That was good.
The porpoise joke was my favourite.
Oh, fuck me. All right, Nachos Libre. Lucha is such a fat loser. It looks like he ate. It looks like he ate all the chips he was dealt in life. Yeah, I'm very, very sorry to hear about Zed. No, you know, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about here, Lucha's only appearance on TV was watching Ving Rhames be fucked up in the arse in Pulp Fiction. You're again.
Movie reference.
Lucha looks like he was conceived when his mum dragged her busted vagina across the floor of a Ladbrokes.
Charming. Ryan does a movie podcast, and every time he's on the podcast, he's always saying how much he loves Jim Carrey. So, in tribute to Ryan's favourite actor, I'm going to do my final joke like Jim Carrey. Hold your applause. No, you need to hold it here. Hold it, man, for fuck's sake. Ryan is an arsehole. Ryan is actually an Arsenal supporter, and he was removed recently from an Arsenal fans group for calling out the fact that João Pedro's girlfriend was 15 years old. He wasn't upset about the age difference, he was just upset that his ex had moved on and started going out with João Pedro.
Well, that one definitely deserved to be spoken from the arse. Fuck me.
That was Jim Carrey.
It definitely wasn't. I'm actually uncomfortable. Okay, all right, we have another round of this fucking nonsense. Where am I? Right, so obviously this is Lucha DS, that's his name. You know, obviously we know what the DS stands for. Yeah, you know. Yeah, Lucha's wrestling finisher move is the 619 because that's how many extra chromosomes he has. And finally, Lucha tells me he has wrestled with people he now has toy figures of. You know, like he's wrestled with people he has toy figures of. But I find that really hard to believe because where the fuck would you get toy action figures of the Greenock Cub Scouts?
Thank you.
Lucha DS and Ryan Cullen, ladies and gentlemen. Who won that one? I'm not qualified to judge. And neither are you. So shut up. Could it be Ryan, professional comedian? This collection of red flags? Who knows? Over to our judges. Daniel, what is your verdict, please?
I mean, I think Ryan had it pretty convincingly. Some good jokes there. A lot of respect for the costume. That's good fun. I mean, it is really important if you're going to dress up for a joke that the payoff isn't anywhere near worth it. That's important. There was some good stuff. Ryan combined paedophilia with disability. That's how you do it, folks.
That's what we call the golden point, isn't it?
Suicide by second-hand embarrassment. I mean, hard to dispute. Ate all the chips he was dealt. Good stuff. 619 extra chromosomes. Well observed.
I was going to say, you just on TV, you just don't get anyone saying the line, "She dragged her busted vagina across the floor of a Ladbrokes." You don't see that on the sitcoms these days, do you, Ryan? So that's 1-0 to you. Well done. Jodie.
That was biblical.
I don't believe it either.
Lucha explained not one, not two, but three of his own jokes. That's how you know they're good. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Ryan. Can I pop your tits?
Yeah. Jodie Sloan, the human mastectomy, ladies and gentlemen. This could have gone either way. I mean, I don't know what we'd do if Jodie had gone for you, Luca. It would have been a one-all draw. What we need is a third judge to give an overwhelming opinion. The third judge is, of course, Ryan. Ryan is our third judge tonight. Ryan, would you like to take your judging seat? Let's not applaud naked corruption, ladies and gentlemen. This is not an American election, am I right? Ryan, how did you think that went from your totally objective point of view?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, Lucha is like a luchador wrestler. I didn't know that he was coming dressed as a nun, so all my luchador-based jokes were immediately panic stations.
Yeah.
But apart from that, one of my funniest things I think about Lucha is in his list of things. You know, we send a list sometimes. You know, if you don't know the person, get your background and all that. He doesn't have speech impediment listed.
I don't think it's an impediment that he speaks. I think that's just setting the bar for an easier win for you. How would you score the round?
I love Lucha.
Yes.
3-0 me.
Not even a point of Kitty. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause and congratulations for your judge, Ryan Cullen. And back into the night he goes. Please, your booze and hatred for Luca. Hacking right, boo. You know the worst part is, he arrived like that. He didn't come here and change clothes. Who's next on my list of close personal friends? Here's some names on a piece of paper. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Ava Peroni and Laurie Brewster.
Yeah! Wow! What an honour. I mean, truly incredible. I can't believe we had the budget for Steve Buscemi. That's crazy. No, I'm joking. This startled lemur is Laurie Brewster. Laurie looks kind of like me after being put through a pasta roller. I think this is less of a roast battle and more of infighting between the Shining twins.
Thank you, In the Dyke Garden. Eva Peroni is 21 years old. She is queer and has ADHD, I assume. Eva is from Livingston originally, but moved to Edinburgh to study global law at university. I can't tell you which university, but not the good one. When she arrived, Eva was picked on by posh English girls who called her a fruit. Tragically, Eva's from Livingston, so she doesn't know what that is. Eva faces a lot of questions about her sexuality. To clear it up, Eva is a Scottish mask lesbian, which means she wears a strap-on, but it is battered and deep-fried.
I think Laurie would be greatly improved if he was hit by one. Laurie's actually a great comic, and he really defies expectations, like being called Laurie and not being fucking gay.
Ladies.
He's actually not the only Laurie that I know. I know another Laurie who is a transgender communist, and yet I still think that you'd be less fun at parties.
Eva has family in both IRA and Gypsy communities. Every time she sees a caravan, she can't decide whether to blow it up or move in. Eva looks like someone put breast implants on a Victorian chimney boy for a laugh.
You can pop mine later.
Eva has a fairly... Well, is this fair to say? Eva has a fairly communist outlook. Sorry, Eva's fanny has a communist outlook. Because it's classless and owned by the community.
Laurie is English. Laurie used to live in Spain. He's the exact type of fucking annoying English cunt that you just know would correct your pronunciation. Like, no, bro, they only respect you if you use a hard R. Laurie works in the year abroad department at his university because living in Spain is the only interesting thing he has ever done. I don't actually think that he does work in that department. I think that's just his excuse for why all of the children that he works with disappear.
Thank you, Trans Ferdinand. Before Eva sometimes gets nervous before going on stage. Before gigs, she'll often have a few pints to kind of ease her delivery, which is a technique passed down through generations by pregnant women in her family. Eva is quite unique in that she manages to look quite butch while still having a baby face. You look like you were brought to Epstein Island to put up shelves. That's like... Eva once slept with a man who then subsequently decided he was gay. You literally put the gay in gateway drug. That's
Despite being English, Laurie's actually not posh. She's just a gimp. Laurie's from Hertfordshire. He's the only guy from Hertfordshire that looks like he's seen things, you know? Laurie looks incomplete without a ventriloquist dummy. Laurie also looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
Eva is the answer to the question, what if a goblin wished to be an open mic comedian? Eva's actually a brilliant comic and an exceptional person. She's the exception to the stereotype that gay people dress well. Eva was in a relationship with 3 years with a girl who lived in the Netherlands. She split up with Eva because of the distance between her tits and the floor.
Laurie's such a fucking loser. He seems like he would thrive in the Bake Off tent. Laurie looks like he goes, oh yeah, when he guesses the Wordle. Judges, please be kind to Laurie tonight. This is his first roast battle, and if he loses, I think he's going to smash his own head in with a Nintendo Switch. So.
I'm not saying Eva has a lot of testosterone, but she's not allowed to compete at the Olympics. As a man, you look like the kind of woman to tuck your tits into your tool belt. Eva's dad was actually a stand-up comedian. Has anyone here ever heard of him? Guess that runs in the family. Eva's dad recently got made redundant. He says he's glad it happened because now he has more in common with Eva, specifically her womb. That's us? Yeah, that's us.
Eva and Laurie, ladies and gentlemen! That was excellent. excellent. That was excellent. Well done. I oddly feel it was lacking a nun costume. That's just me. It's not up to me, though. Judges, over to you. Jodie, what did you think?
I think that was a great roast battle just in general. I can't believe it's
Wasn't
your first
it?
time.
It
I,
was.
at any one time, I didn't know who was doing better than the other. Eva came right out the gate with the pasta roller one. I like that a lot. Startled lemur. Good times. I don't know. I went really back and forth the whole time. I think overall I wrote down more for Laurie, so I'm going to go with Laurie.
Hey. 1-0 to Laurie. Ryan, if you would.
Hello. That was fucking excellent. I mean, is that your... Because it's your first one here, isn't it? But, like, is your first ever roast battle?
I did one against Joe, but we sort of found it.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely. Because Eva here's, like, one of the best in the world.
Yeah,
like,
I
literally
think
ranked.
it was an easy win.
Yeah. No, definitely not this time. That was unbelievable. I mean, I think that the pastoral and the Laurie jokes were very funny at the start, but then you came back really, really strong. The chimney one, the communist fanny, Trans Ferdinand. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I think the best joke of the night was Eva's thrive in the bake-off tent. That was very good. I'm going to narrowly give it to Laurie, though. Yeah, I think you know.
So, Daniel, your comments, if you please.
Really, really good. I liked as well, a lot of times you don't see people laugh at each other's jokes, and that was nice. You acknowledged when people did something funny. I'm glad you acknowledged how much you look like each other. Because you do look like cousins who sneak off to fuck after Christmas dinner. I would say it definitely wasn't a clean sweep for Laurie, so I'll give mine to Eva.
There we go. That was, wow. What a roller coaster it's been so far, ladies and gentlemen. And we just hit a high. A round of applause, massive cheering for your winner. It's Laurie! I want to tell you something, in all honesty, you don't deserve the booze and hatred that is coming your way. But they're going to give it to you anyway, because they're the kind of vicious pricks who would come to a roast battle in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, boo the life out of her, but reluctantly, it's Eva Peroni, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking boo. You're worse than Jimmy Savile. Boo. I know where you live, etc. A brilliant comic who dresses well. Where do they come up with this stuff, really? All right, let's move it up. We've got 2 more in this section. So then we'll have a break and we'll have 4 more. So let's get the next ones on. It's Joe Casey and Paddy Linton!
Yeah, we go. Is it me first? Yeah, me on you. Yeah, we go. This is Paddy. Give it up for Paddy, everybody. Come on. Thank you. Paddy had a tough Glasgow upbringing. When he was a kid, he couldn't have birthday candles because his dad would burn a spoon over them. Paddy, not only does it look like your mom was drinking when she was pregnant with you, it looks like somehow you were as well. Paddy's the first cunt in history to have fetal alcohol withdrawals.
You look like you've got asthma. So, this is Joey's from Newcastle, the birthplace of Greg's. He loves ecstasy and he's got poor vision. Proof that all you need are specs, drugs, and sausage rolls. Yes. Never doing jokes, Crooks, yes. As a child, Joe met Paul Gascoigne, and that is probably the worst thing to ever happen to Gaza.
Patrick's father did die when he was younger.
Okay, oh, you're fucking right. You said aye. All right.
You know what they say? Paddy, no daddy. Paddy, saddy, because no daddy. Paddy's hairline is that far back. 1 second, Daniel. I'll wait for you. Paddy's hairline is that far back. He still thinks his dad is alive. Paddy's dad was a drug addict and alcoholic. You know what? I think you'd be really proud of the man you've become.
Joe suffers from hearing loss and he's a wanker. 2 seconds while I interpret that, mate. No, but going deaf, that is a shiter. But at least every Christmas you'll dominate at charades. And being a deaf guy, I hope you don't develop arthritis in your old age, because that pain would be unspeakable.
Paddy runs a pub quiz, which is funny. Getting your intelligence tested by Paddy is like if your driving test examiner was a dog. Paddy has psoriasis. If you don't know what psoriasis is, Paddy has psoriasis. If you don't know what psoriasis is, it means Paddy looks like a half-sucked lollipop.
Freudian slap down.
Freudian slip. Paddy looks like a half-sucked lollipop that's been dropped on the floor of Greg's. Paddy always gets in the festive spirit because of his psoriasis. He's his own walking snow globe.
To whoever, when he said Paddy's got psoriasis, went, ooh, fuck you, man. Bang out. Can't wait to come up and flake over you, you rat bastard. Rat bastard. You look like if you took your glasses off, you'd still look specky. Yes, yeah. Looks like Millhouse when he takes his glasses off. Joe Casey clicks, no, I don't have a TV licence. Joe moved from Newcastle to Birmingham for university and he was shocked. He was shocked by how many brown people there were in Birmingham. He said he felt like he'd joined Y-ISIS.
Despite all of his issues, Paddy has still managed to make it as a working-class comedian. He's the first person to smash the glass ceiling and immediately start licking the window. Paddy actually went to uni, which is what happens when a country lets everyone go for free. Paddy studied law. His dissertation was called The Ethics of Asking for 20p for the Bus.
Joe gets all his clothes from the back to school range. Joe's conception is the worst ever shooting in a Geordie bush, and that includes Raoul Moat's suicide. And Joe's ex used to batter him, which must have been really tempting because you're built like a punch bag.
Paddy looks like a sleep paralysis demon that smells of Watsits. Paddy is old. Paddy is fucking old. Paddy is so old, he posts, "Who remembers Woolworths" on Facebook groups? Paddy is so old that he found out his dad had died by carrier pigeon.
Nice one, Amber, not heard. Joe's dad's an actor. His best acting came when he heard his son was getting battered after his missus, and he had to act like he's not a wee bitch. I'm not proud of that either, it's alright, man. But I know, and it's a shame because Joe did all the cooking in that relationship, and was every meal a slap-up meal, aye? And what does Joe in the future and his hearing loss takes over and his ex have in common? Both let their fists do the talking. I think that's us.
Hey!
Go Casey and Paddy Linton! Well done, guys. Well done.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys didn't let me down in that one either. Well, near the beginning where I said, actually, his dad did die when he was young. No sympathy from this audience whatsoever. You are hardened like a trawlerman's calluses. Daniel, if you please, you kick us off this time.
That was good stuff, guys. I liked when you made fun of Joe for being deaf. That was good stuff. I'd say my favourite of the deaf riffs was the arthritis pain being unspeakable, because sign language is with your hands. That is good stuff. I really do respect the boldness of Paddy turning up to a roast battle contest wearing visibly dirty trousers. I would say that was very balanced, but I would narrowly give Joe the edge.
Okay. Judging by the speed of that applause, a controversial decision. Jodie, if you please.
I do think it was narrow as well. Overall, I liked how Paddy made enemies with the audience immediately. And I also really liked how out of pocket you were, just in general. What was the whole DV bit? I don't know. It went by really quick, but God. I'm going to give it... Yeah, sorry. Domestic violence. But,
Yes, the lighter side of domestic violence that we saw. Finally, someone brave enough to speak out on how humorous it all really is.
just for reasons of intrigue, I'm going to give it to Paddy.
Okay. Ooh, there's literally nothing to play for. Ryan, you've never had this much power.
Yeah.
Revel in it, my friend.
No, I do. Nah. I just laughed at Louis C.K. is currently playing at the Usher Hall in Edinburgh, and I feel like both of you look like you should be there. There's two different archetypes of CK fan. That again, that's fantastic. I have to make it to let people know there's extra battles on, and the reason why I put on extra battles, I was like, let's keep every round to like just 2 jokes each, and not one of us has done that yet. Good fun. Loved half sucked lollycock. That was a good one. Yeah. Really enjoyed.
Sometimes you just fall face first into gold, don't you?
Yeah. Paddy obviously threatening crowd members, very funny, and you have a 3-minute window or whatever. There's quite a lot of jokes. There is no real winner in this one because it's fantastic. I will pick one.
That's your job.
I've just written down like the Gaza joke. It was fantastic. The back to school range really got me. Slap up meal. I think the fetal alcohol from Joe, the dog driver. I think I'm just going to give it to what I thought was the best joke, and that's the only thing I can actually separate this which was the hairline joke about his dad. His hairline's so far back that he thinks his dad. So I think I'm going to give that just by a ball hair to Joe.
Joe, ladies and gentlemen. Feel that heroism? What a prize! Let it continue as you leave in triumph! And you bravely fought. Pick up your cloak, your lamp, and your leprosy wand. Shamble back into the darkness. Go! Boo! Boo! Unclean! Unclean! I can't read this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the last act of this section. We're going to have a break. After that, we're going to have a collection for Luca. And then we're back for the second half. So, for the final act of this session, can we please welcome to the stage your roasters, Kat Powell and Shannon Brooke?
Hello. Gosh, this is good. You know, before we started, Kat sent me her bio, and it's the first time I felt like I could smell it. Bio. She wrote in her bio, I'm actually not that fat. Even flat earthers agree she's round, you know? No, Kat's like a fridge. She's tall, cold, stores food, and she's terrible in bed.
I'll fucking show you. This dirty hippie is Shannon Brooke. Shannon, if you're here, who's training for the Grand National? No. Shannon isn't a horse. Her teeth say nay, but her head says recently laid by a chicken. Honestly, Shannon's hair is so thin, each strand has its own eating disorder.
This is going to be Battle of the Eating Disorder, isn't it? This is. Kat has a moon face. And by that, I mean only fucking nerds want to look closely at it. And anyone who steps on it is a hero. The only time she rotates around the earth is when she's rolling in the mud. Oink.
I told you, you'll see later. Shannon looks like a Cabbage Patch doll if the Cabbage Patch was really close to Chernobyl. Shannon's fringe is doing all the work of a tea towel trying to disguise a submarine. No, honestly, guys, Shannon is a snack, and that snack is a space radar.
How did I know you were going to bring snacks into this? God. In her bio, Kat said, we should be less obsessed with individual identities. She also said she's neurodivergent, bisexual, and not fat. Yes. Kat is bisexual, neurodivergent, has a chronic illness, and still doesn't get booked.
That's a lot coming from Seabiscuit. Shannon's parents were dropouts, and following in their footsteps, she dropped out of her mother's gaping vagina, landed on her head, and that's why her favourite movie is Cat in the Hat. Shannon doesn't eat gluten, dairy, or meat, and that's because she's always filling up on hay. Shannon's actually into bouldering, and so was her ex-boyfriend. I mean, he would have to be trying to climb that cliff she calls a head.
Kat looks like a central heating system. Spent 19 years in the closet, and that's still how you dress. I mean... No, Kat's parents are very open-minded. They made her stay in the closet because of her face. Honey, you can be gay, but do we have to look at you?
Thanks, Queef Ledger. Shannon has OCD, but I don't buy it. I mean, her eyes scream obsessed, but her hair screams, please wash me. look in the eye. They'd have like. I asked Shannon whether she got her jeans, like these actual jeans, and she casually went, "Oh, I just found them in the street." She didn't wash them, and she got a rash, which makes a change from the rashes she usually gets from her work on the street. She's a trash goblin who loves goblin cock. I'm kidding, okay? Like, Shannon's actually pretty hot, but she's more like one of those magic eye paintings, you know? The more you look, the uglier she gets. Like...
Kat, you look like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Bless. No, Kat's not very funny. The only house she blows down is the Three Little Piggies. She huffs and she puffs and she huffs and she puffs and she... Thank God she's not fat.
Thank you very much, hoarding away. Shannon worked in events. She used to run an open-air cinema where you could rent a projector in her forehead. Shannon looks like one of the children in Oxfam adverts. And that's because she spent her gap year in Malawi so she could steal the clothes from the kids in Oxfam adverts. Who am I kidding? With that head, the only thing Shannon's trying to steal is Chemical X from the Powerpuff Girls.
Thank you!
Kat and Shannon, ladies and gentlemen! Well done. Well done. There you are, naysayers. Who was it who said women can't be mean? You were wrong. This is what actually I imagine the lesbian comedy version of Heated Rivalry would look like. This is episode 1. This is just like the walk-up. They're going to fuck later on, aren't they? Judges, over to you. Jodie, if you'd like to start us off.
Weird girl on weird girl crime. That was so hard to watch. It felt like you guys should be like best friends in a coming of age movie that get horrifically bullied. Some really good pops from both of you, I think. I really like from Kat the Cabbage Patch, the bit about Shannon not washing her hair.
It's true.
But overall, I'm going to give it to Shannon. What was the Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe? Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. That was great.
There you are. The blonde girl has judged the two non-blondes. That's like high school all over again, isn't it? Daniel, you please.
Some really good big swings from both. Hair thin, eating disorder, good stuff. Yeah, it was nicely balanced. You both had some really good jokes. I would say Shannon had the edge on having my favourite jokes. A few slight misses from Kat, but some really good stuff. I would say I could have maybe given it to Kat, but I just haven't forgiven you for all the horrible stuff you did to Matilda. So...
Wow. Wow.
So I'm gonna...
Way to bring up trauma.
I'm gonna give it to Shannon. That was good stuff.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well, yeah, again, two of our best people in Scotland, fantastic. I mean, it looked like a battle between like garden centre employees. It's like both your favourite films, Pan's Labyrinth, right? But the notepad's great. Like, I actually prefer it than the phones, but like it does also. It kind of makes you feel like every other page is full of like stencil drawings of caterpillars or something. Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. Again, I think I was about to narrowly just give it to Kat with the rash joke, which I thought was the best joke, but I think the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe did top it for me. I mean, I'm going to just give it to Kat because it again doesn't deserve a clean sweep. But yeah, fantastic.
There we are. Well, let's just say, it just proves what I've always known. It's fun to take the mick out of the fat person, and it does yield its own rewards. So leave to your applause, Shannon. Hooray! Shannon mock the larger person. You're a hero, Shannon. A hero. And we all want to be you. Fuck that skinny cunt. She looks like Annie's stunt double. And you're not fat. You're just bigger than her. Like your average drinking straw. Or a midget. Sorry, you can't say midget anymore. A freak. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have booing echoing in your ears. But it will be booing tinged with love and respect and knowing that they've done wrong. Fuck off. Boo. Boo. Yes, telling the audience to fuck off, that'll win them round. Hard to believe they're the same gender, wasn't it? Just two widely varied examples. There is more than one type of woman. That's something for me to think about during the break. We're going to have a break. You can go to the toilet. You can go to the bar. Hey, you can do what you like. That's why we live in the West. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes we'll be back here. A round of applause for the very high standard roasters so far. See you in 10. Do my own intro in my own good time. Can't postpone this any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, it's part 2 of Roast Battles! Hooray! We are back! Hello. Everyone still well? Marvellous. So am I. Thank you for asking. An act came up to me and spoke to me during the break. Can you believe it? The fucking nerve. It's not that kind of relationship. Do you guys have a good break? Yes? You've been doing judgy things? What do the judges, is for the people watching on the internet at home if they'll stop masturbating. What is it? What do the judges do during the break?
I took an edible, if that's...
Took an edible? That's pretty good. Jodie, are you on the drugs as well, or did you have a wholesome break?
I'm drinking.
Drinking, okay.
A lot to cope.
Drugs, alcohol, and...
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Bullshit. If anyone has the Nolan's greatest hits on their Spotify, it's you, Dan. And now, as I put on my glasses to let an air of authenticity and gravitas to the proceeding, fucking talk right at my face. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 more acts in this section. There's been a high standard so far, I think you'll agree. Thank you. Thank you for your silent agreement. Because if there's one thing that's going to keep this show going at this venue, it's the management listening outside to silent agreement. You got 4 more chances to boo. I know what you fucking want. All right, so let's get it on with the first of 4. Will you please welcome to stage your brave roasters, Leila and Callum Frost?
Hi, Baldy versus Baddie.
Bad person.
Do you want to go first?
Or, yeah, why not? All right. It's been a difficult time, romantically, for Leila. Right? She reminds me of a pothole. Right? Easy to find, but unlikely to ever get filled in. Rod Stewart might do it. Anyway, Leila's fashion choices get her a lot of attention in public, usually by street homelessness teams. offering her soup and blankets.
I was really hoping that we were gonna have some sexual tension, like Patty and Joe, but it's not going down like that, sis. This is Callum. Everyone say hi, Callum. Callum is allegedly a comedian, but two things set him apart. First of all, he's not allowed near children. And second of all, he's not funny. He's no funny.
Right. Right. Leila, over here, started a night called Stand Up for Palestine. Right? This event was definitely started in order to raise money to support the Palestinian cause, and definitely not as a means to promote Leila's own comedy career.
I will be telling Hamas about this. Watch yourself. I'm not one to make assumptions based on superficial traits, but looking at Callum, I can deduce two things. First of all, his search history definitely contains when white people are singing along to music. Can they say the hard R? And the second thing, how does a man get invited to Epstein's Island?
Awesome. Leila's a nice person, all right? But I was sitting next to her at a gong show recently, and I think she might have had an abscess in one of her teeth, right? And the smell was seriously bad. Right? It was horrific. Right? Then she went up on stage, and usually when comedians go up on stage at a gong show, you want them to be gonged off quickly, so you have a better chance of winning. But I was like, you stay up there as long as you want then. You go. From afar, right, Leila seems interesting, but the closer she gets, right, the more you realise that she is mostly empty. And the smell, right, from the abscess, the tooth. Go see a dentist, dude, man. Jesus Christ.
Should I leave? Is it? Okay, calm down. Calm down. All right, 6-foot sex offender. We'll fucking see. Callum unfortunately got bit when he was a child by a radioactive thumb. And unfortunately, you see it, right? Like, honestly, no further comment. No. He got bit by a radioactive thumb and he developed superpowers. Of course, I am referring to his superhuman ability to disappoint women in bed. He's giving Humpty Dumpty on the street and hairless Numpty in the sheets.
That's good. Hey, some may split the room, but Leila is a woman, right?
Boo.
Which explains why she looks like she does, which is bad, right? Because women are seriously bad looking. Right? In my book, women will always win competitions for the people that look the worst in the world. I only like the look of men and some animals.
I think that liking animals thing might be hereditary because he looks half naked mole rat. Like Callum said, we did a gong show last week, and I don't mean to brag, but I placed higher than him, obviously. And I mean, don't feel too bad for him. I've seen his field account, and he is very much used to getting beat by women of color. And knowing Callum, he may not have beat the gong, but I know he went home and he beat his dong.
Big time. It's not too bad. Leila, all right, is also a photographer for a whole host of comedy nights. She reminds me a bit of the famous fashion photographer, Terry Richardson, you know? That guy. In that she regularly tries to sleep with the people she takes photos of. She's always at it. For those of you who don't know, Terry Richardson is a convicted sex offender.
He's just sad I've never asked him for headshots, if you know what I mean. Sorry, I just had to gather the will to live before I continued. This is Callum Frost. As you can see, the boy has no eyebrows. He reminds me of Simon Cowell because of his paralyzed, Botox-infused expression. And he does it in a way that makes me think, well, you got 5 teenage boys in your basement, don't you? One of whom is definitely dead. R.I.P. Liam. And that's what makes you beautiful. What? You ran out.
No, I've got
I have one more.
I'll carry on. I got a couple more.
Planning.
Leila, all right, recently asked me whether I want to go on holiday with her. Right? I said, not really. I'm all right. To be honest, right, I'm just glad to be here. Otherwise, I'd be at home watching reruns of Strictly with my wife. I'm sick of it. I'm done. That's it.
Okay, first of all, that's not how the conversation went. He said, where? I said Egypt, and he said, oh, I thought you were going to say Epstein's Island. And that's why he's put out. Look at him. That is the face of disappointment. Anyway. Okay, I don't know how to explain this better, right? But look at him. Okay, look at him. Doesn't he look like his dick looks like him? Like, if I took his pants off right here, right now, would you be completely unsurprised if his schlong... Did someone say I get it? Thank you, sis. God bless you. Mwah. We can make out after the show. But if I took his pants off right now, doesn't he look like his schlong would have no eyebrows and a tiny little Kubrick stare, like... Friendship!
Let's give it up for Leila and Callum. Thank you. I would be surprised if he pulled down his pants and his dick did have eyebrows. Are they meant to have eyebrows?
I said no eyebrows.
Right. Then okay, I'm sorry. I was distracted. I mean, we've got some very even matches and so far today. I've never thought Ryan would pair up a woman of colour with an accredited 4chan moderator. Thank you, one person. That's often so much worse when only one person claps. But it was weird, because I was sitting there in the Platinum members section, in the front row. And when you, Callum, made your first insulting comment, your first roast, you had a look on your face like an evil magician. And you had a look on your face like he just produced a deconstructed rabbit from a hat at your birthday party. I thought, you're not going to survive this, Leila. But you did well. Hold her. Leila and Callum, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Jodie, what do you think?
You guys are friends and weird.
No.
Yeah, we got a train over.
Anymore.
I feel like I could sense the
Be
genuine...
careful, you're just reinforcing Callum's ideas about women.
I could really sense the genuine dislike between you guys. I thought that there were some really good ones from Leila. I really liked the I'm gonna tell Hamas. Radioactive Thumb was also great. I think that the ones that didn't hit as hard took away from the ones that were so good. But there were some really good ones in there. I really liked how Callum had the energy of a man who just rolled off the street to be here.
A bit tired.
Yeah. I think your off-the-cuff responses were great, which is hard to do in a roast. It really easily can go wrong. And for that reason, I'm going to give it to Callum.
Okay. 1-0 to Callum. Ryan.
That was good. That was Sideshow Bob versus Mr. Burns. That really just looked like a fight that broke out at the front picket of a BNP rally. Yeah, my favourite thing was, Callum, your notepad looks like a passport. It just looked like you actually didn't have anything. You were just trying to show your passport off to a black woman.
It's a Gryffindor hat.
Oh. I would never have pegged you as a Gryffindor.
I'm about to vote Leila.
My mum got it for me, so I can remind myself that I'm a good guy.
Don't call me that outside of the bedroom, bro.
I'm sorry, but everything about you screams Slytherin.
Yeah, I think what was funny about this one was, like, there's such two extremely different demeanours. What the fuck are you? He's doing his stretches now. So funny. I mean, like, I think, like, compared to the other ones, the jokes weren't as strong. But also, Callum, this is your first roast battle here. Anyway.
Oh, well done.
And you're
Well done.
and Leila, how long have you only been doing comedy?
3 months.
Yeah, a couple of fucking months. Yeah. So this is, they got straight out. Yeah, a round of applause for both of them there. That is the thing. I think when some of the bigger laughs didn't get the thing, I think there was a little bit of confidence, kind of came through, a little bit of confidence issue. But part of that, good fun, great thing. I'll give it to Callum. He won it with his pure miserable demeanour. It was very funny. The time, what did you say when you said big time?
Yeah.
I don't know why I did. Just enough to go big time.
Just dripping showbiz pizzazz.
I will shout out to. I think the best joke was radioactive fun, and someone over here fucking lost it. Absolutely lost it. But I'll give Callum
Daniel, your chance now.
Some good swings on both sides. Radioactive Thumb, some good stuff. I feel like I've not taken enough.
You sound like the man Callum's going to grow into.
I was going to say, I feel like I've not taken enough magic mushrooms to fully understand Callum, but there is just something impenetrable about just the way, like, you could say anything to me, just be like, nice one. That's a real trump card in this game. Getting attention for fashion from the homeless charities, that was some good stuff. The Hamas retort was good. The point you said awesome, I was like, Leila, I can say anything. Awesome is the funniest reply to me. But overall, very good, but I would give it to Callum as well.
Fair enough. Well done, Callum. First battle. No, wait. Drinking their love.
Oh, yeah,
big time. Now leave. Now go. Hooray for Callum! A winner! And now, the moment we've all been looking forward to. The chance to boo a woman of colour. Thank you, judges, for putting us all in this position. It's not me, it's them. Well done, Leila. It was not enough. And now, a brief return to 50s style racism. as you are booed from the stage by this predominantly white audience. Leila, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's right, Leila. Get to the back of the room. It's not. It's not. You know I get them to boo the loser. You know I do that. I was this close to saying, please don't book any more black actors. I'm not. Position it puts us all in. Feel good about yourselves now, do you? And now, before the third section where we tap dance on Martin Luther King's grave. 2 more people. I'm saying no more than that. Who knows what kind of background they come from, but we welcome to the stage nonetheless. Give it up for Scout Robertson and Kyle Samuel!
Say hello to Kyle Samuel, everyone. So, fun fact, Kyle believes that... I have that effect on a lot of people too, don't worry. Don't worry. So, fun fact, Kyle believes that euthanasia should be legalised. That seems pointless. I've seen him on stage. He doesn't need any assistance with dying. Kyle entered his photos into a celebrity lookalike scanner online, and the result was Bruce Lee. That's a joke. The closest a cunt ever comes to a ninja is when he boots up the air fryer. Kyle, if you're here, who's putting 17-year-old girls on a dangerously high pedestal that they'll never mentally recover from?
Scout looks like you've stapled the back half of a mullet onto an egg. It's accurate though, isn't it? Scout is very creative. Yeah, I think that Scout is so creative because he has a very well ventilated frontal cortex. Scout isn't a full-time comedian. You might recognise them from their other job, where they're the puppet in the Saw movies.
Nice, nice. Also, whoever said, he does with a mullet with an egg thing, fuck you. Kyle has psoriasis. Jesus, you thought that last battle was rough? Wait until you see his elbows. Kyle looks like he takes a nap on an open George Foreman grill. Kyle's skin looks like Joe Pesci's hand after he touches the hot door handle in Home Alone.
Scout looks like the bouncer of a gay library. Scout was banned from a casino toilet for having sex in the toilets. Right, Scout, that's not what the guys in there mean when they ask you to give them £1. And for this last one, very vibes based, but Scout looks like a wacky inflatable tube man that you would find outside of a car dealership that only sells hearses.
So you might have noticed that Kyle has the teeth of an elderly man from the 18th century. But in spite of that, Kyle likes to keep up with modern trends. For example, how many fully developed teeth has Kyle got? 6? 7? Kyle's gum to teeth ratio reminds me a lot of the ratio of people who recently completed a comedy course to actually funny people in the Scottish scene. So Kyle's teeth remind me of a few 2000s girl groups. First of all, the Pussycat Dolls, because it's only the one at the front that's achieved any growth. They also remind me of the Sugar Babes, because one of them's black. And lastly, they remind me of Girls Aloud, because one of them's dead. R.I.P. Sarah.
Scout looks like you've mashed together all of the Addams family, except for cousin It. Scout is a former drag queen and a current drag to spend time with. Scout has told me that they've had multiple manic episodes, right? Scout, that's not multiple episodes, mate. That's a fucking omnibus.
So Kyle told me that they had to have a blood transfusion when he was born. By the looks of things, the donor was George Takei. Kyle is a recovering gambling addict, so much so that when his ex left him, he bet £10 on beating the rush hour traffic home. Sorry, quick side note, speaking of rush hour, I thought you were great in that film alongside Chris Tucker. But listen, guys, I'm just kidding. Kyle's girlfriend hasn't left him. Nobody could escape that flotation tank in the basement.
Scout looks like the wrestler The Undertaker if he drove a moped. Scout looks like Neo from The Matrix if the blue pill and the red pill were used to treat HIV.
Shout out PrEP, honestly.
Scout's mum's vagina is so fishy that his Catholic dad only eats her out on Fridays.
If Kyle were a flavour of Elf Bar, what flavour of Elf Bar would he be? Blue Spaz Lemonade. Unironically, Kyle looks like someone who would use a bottle of Jägermeister as a fleshlight. Kyle has a very broad music taste. I think if he started a heavy metal band, it'd be called Syndrome of a Down. Which is weird because he looks like his karaoke song would unironically be Black Skinhead by Kanye West.
I'm more of a Sabrina Carpenter man, I don't know if you can tell.
Who the fuck's gay here, man?
Scout looks like the poster child for conversion therapy. For Scout's first ever stand-up gig, he wore a turkey mask on his head. Scout, when people say you need turkey, they mean a flight. I can't really explain this one, but Scout is the kind of gay man that would lay a woman down in a puddle so that a jacket doesn't get wet. And finally, Scout looks like the answer to the question, what if Tim Burton directed Philadelphia? Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Cullen, Scout, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Well done. Another strong one, judges. Another strong one. Pretty serious hits against Girls Aloud in there as well. Or it could go either way. Ryan, why don't you kick us off with your comments, please?
Absolutely fucking fantastic. Yeah, like I've written down 13 jokes that I think would pretty much.
Wow, you've got a fringe show.
Yeah. That would pretty much win most roast battles. That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, very hard.
Kyle's obviously one of the best in the world at this. He's been doing it. Scout came in to our last one and battled Jack Trainer, who was our fucking little king at the moment, right? And Scout beat him. You did, didn't you? Yeah.
I certainly did.
Yeah. I was just like, fuck me, that's unbelievable. It's great to see that you came here and just you are just absolutely fantastic at this. You do look like that you belong to both Charles and Marilyn Manson's families. You look like the Night Man from Always Sunny?
So I was thinking evil Bill Bailey.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, to be brutally honest, it's a joke. Anybody who's going to have to lose this one. I have 13 jokes. I have 7 that I thought were for one of you, which is all I could do with this, and that is Kyle. I think Scout, to lose this with the Girls Aloud stuff and the Sugar Babe stuff is just criminal. But I have to choose someone. I'm going to go with Kyle just because I have 7 out of 6.
7 out of 13.
But again, who gives a fuck?
You get
That
the
was
edge,
unbelievable.
Kyle. You get the edge, man. All right, Jodie.
That was really, really great. I think I liked how Scott started strong with the rough elbows, already getting a clap right at the beginning. Second person with psoriasis
I know.
tonight.
Don't tell me we turn anyone away.
I really liked the car dealer that only sells hearses and moped undertaker.
Yeah.
Just the visuals were great.
So
And
many
for that
strong
reason,
ones.
I'm also going to go with Kyle.
Kyle. Is it a clean sweep, Daniel? Will you give us your marks, please?
Really, really, really fucking good, especially considering that Scout's second ever roast.
Yeah.
Really funny.
No, Scout's just a naturally abusive person.
It's not just you saying it's to other people saying it.
That's right.
I think my favourite joke of the whole thing was laying a woman down in a puddle so a jacket doesn't get wet. That is so good. I liked it when Scout was like, "Who's fucking gay here, man?" That's good.
Sounds like a threat coming out of your mouth. Sounds like you're clearing house, Daniel.
Make yourselves known. It doesn't deserve to be a clean sweep, so I'll give it to Scout. That was really good.
Fair enough. Another phenomenal battle, boys. Well done, both of you. Kyle, very gracious of you to shake a losing hand, but you are a winner. The leaves in cavalcades of applause and plaudits from people who are beneath you. Off you go. Big round of applause for your winner, Kyle! And as has happened so often tonight, the loser is... It's going to feel so good to boo a white man. The loser...
Especially when I'm dressed like this.
Yes. The loser who doesn't deserve your boos will nevertheless take them. But we will see you again, I hope. Scout, take it away. Give it up for Scout. Fucking right. Fucking right. Fucking boo. You've lent an air of menace to this pantomime. frightened my 4-year-old. Penultimate battle! Ooh. For those of you who didn't ooh, that means the second to last. Second to last battle! Ooh. Some of you still sitting there going, meh? This isn't Louis C.K. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Fudgy and Charlotte May!
You gentlemen, ladies first.
On you go.
This is my third attempt at roasting Fudgy. He's pulled out a few times, which ironically was what his mum wished his dad had did 26 years ago. No, it was a shame. He had to pull out because he had a flat tyre, so it's nice to see that he's brought his spare the night. Fudgy's a wee bit nervous because usually when I'm being filmed on stage, he's streaming at home in his cup chair with his socks on.
Just nice to see you in person. I don't know how to explain this, but Charlotte looks like a librarian that sells ketamine to minors. Shh. Charlotte looks like she asked to speak to more managers than Celtic Football Club. And Charlotte looks like a pillow princess. If that princess was Diana today.
I was really hoping that Fudgy would approach this roast battle like he does on his Gong Show, mute. The last guy I roasted up here had to go back to India, but where the fuck did I send him? Middle Earth? No, that's a shame because Fudgy's got tiny feet. He'd make a shite hobbit. He'd be the first hobbit to go to Rivendell for food transplant.
Charlotte's got that big D energy. Yeah, big divorcee energy. After the divorce, she had to move out and now lives next door to her old school janitor, yeah. Which I think's sweet, living next to her childhood sweetheart. Charlotte is attracted to women. Charlotte May, more like Charlotte Gay, am I right?
I mean, I did think when I first met you were a lesbian bouncer, but anyway. They say you are what you eat, and if that's the case, Fudgy looks like he's been eating menopausal women who listen to Westlife and have dolphin tattoos. I don't know why, but like Fudgy looks like he collects pound coins for trolleys at Lidl. Fudgy told me he has fears of heights, women, and rejection, which is interesting for somebody whose Pornhub search is tall humiliation queens. Right, that's right, Kat,
Charlotte works for Women's Aid, which is ironic because in her 20s, she was notorious for giving women AIDS. Charlotte buys a lot of feet pics. She doesn't have a foot fetish.
Not for you.
Okay. She doesn't have a foot fetish. It's just the only way she'll ever have a soul.
Fudgy's a big fan of male grooming, the facial hair, not the allegations. Fudgy's pubes are so long that his dick now identifies as Claudia Winkleman's fringe. I was trying to put myself in the mindset of his bird, but I reckon that sucking off Fudgy would be like sucking off that toffee apple that's rolled about my boot since Halloween. Don't boo him, he's got a bird.
I know, I'm surprised too. Charlotte's dad is Jewish, which is why she does the big shop at Poundland. The only reason Charlotte's here tonight is because she was promised this spot 4,000 years ago.
And I'm taking it.
To be fair, even though Charlotte's dad is Jewish, she isn't, which makes sense because she can't she can't control her own finances. Never mind the world's.
Fudgy likes to make a joke that I only fuck middle class, which I just think he's bitter about. But it's true, I only fuck a guy that I could peg with a silver spoon, which is interesting because I've only pegged Fudgy's dad. You'll be surprised to hear Fudgy's not his real name, it's a nickname, and his dad gets called Tablet, which I can confirm Tablet's easier to swallow than fudge.
One of my favourite bands is called Good Charlotte, which is also what every comedy booker says when she sucks them off. Charlotte is...
I will go on top banana. Ross, see you in the back.
Oh, fuck. Charlotte is living proof that sperm has calories. I'll leave it on this. Charlotte is taking so many loads in the throat that her name in the group chat is Charlie Kirk.
Fudgy told me that he was once homeless for a short period of time, but I can only imagine that, that all the kennels at the Dogs Trust was full. Fudgy quite likes to joke that he looks like a garden gnome, but that's amazing because I've never caught a garden gnome wanking through my letterbox at 3 o'clock in the morning. But, gnomes do love fishing, and the only thing that Fudgy's got is pubic lice and his beard. Thank you.
Charlotte and Fudgy! Well done. Very sporting to hug the homophobic anti-Semite. Well done. Well done, both of you. I have to say I was quite distracted at the start because you said it was very hard roasting Fudgy. And I just thought that phrase, roasting Fudgy, sounds like the first gay porno to be nominated for Best Picture. But enough about me and my funny things. Daniel, why don't you start us off?
Just to torture him, I'm going to give it to Charlotte because Fudgy misspoke at one point.
You're a cruel, vicious taskmaster. And that's it, no other reason. Fine with the Jewish hate.
And also because Charlotte was better, but it's funnier.
Right, okay. But on a technicality, you're 1-0 up.
I thought it was pretty equal overall. I think that sperm has calories. That one from Fudgy deserved more. Not you guys.
We all know the struggle.
But overall, I'm also gonna give it to Charlotte. Also really like the spare tire one starting out the gate.
Ryan.
Yeah, good fun this. In fact, yeah, because this one had to be delayed a couple of times, so it's good to see it finally done. I do think there was 2 jokes I got annoyed didn't get more: the sperm calories one, and also the tablet and fudge one. That was fantastic. Yeah. You kind of went for it, and I was like, oh, fuck off. Yeah, Fudgy, Celtic joke. Good. We were missing a bit of anti-Semitism. Loved it. Yeah, I mean, again, absolutely fantastic. I think Charlotte had that, but yeah, very good, all over the place.
Right, you are. Okay, well, we have our winner and we have our loser. Fudgy, if that is your real name, I'm afraid you have to leave to the booze and opprobrium and hatred of the people assembled here. Goodbye, Fudgy. Back to the void. And now, with nothing but praise ringing in your ears, leave the stage to the acclaim of your people. Charlotte May, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the final battle. Yes, I'm as excited as you. These are two vintage roasters. And so, that has a double meaning, apparently. These are two vintage roasters, so here's hoping this time they get it right. Please welcome to the stage Ross Leslie and Coben
Yeah, before we get started, Fudgy's 26. Fucking hell, okay. Insane, okay. Unbelievable.
All right. First off, I'd like to say that I'm glad to be here in a room that is 2/3 empty. Or as Ross calls it, a record-setting evening. Mr. Leslie is the answer to the question, where do Scottish stereotypes come from? Which brings me to my next point. Mr. Leslie's wife was once engaged to his uncle. Hey, you know what they say? What happens in Scotland stays in the bloodline. Mr. Leslie has lost a ton of weight, so all the fat jokes that I've meticulously written won't work. But no matter how much weight you've lost, you can't unfuck your uncle's wife. We have fun here.
It's quite hot, actually.
Oh dear God, no.
Coben Millich here is a Canadian person. He now lives here by virtue of a global talent visa. This renews every 2 years, subject to certain criteria being met, so this is his last gig. I'm not even waiting the full 2 years. Being a Canadian, he talks funny. He says Canadian things like hoser and a boot. Words that come in handy here when they ask him what he did with his victims. He said, I put the hose in my boot. He looks like he dabs when he comes.
Shut the fuck up. Mr. Leslie looks like he suggests bathing together on the first date. Mr. Leslie worked for the Scottish National Party, but he only did it because he thought that SNP stood for snack, snaps, and pussy that his uncle's already eaten. Mr. Leslie is extremely scared of water, so luckily for him, if he jumps into a pool, it would completely empty out. Yeah, see, fat joke's not working. Should have trimmed him. That's fine. He did heroin to lose the weight, so. Yes.
Coben told me he likes hip-hop music, and he actually recorded a couple of tracks of his own, and I was like, that explains the Drake worship, and he's like, the King raps too? Fucking hell. The wee joke about Drake being a pedo, and he liking that. Cool, fair enough. He's had several relationships, both here and back home in Canada, and says he's been cheated on every single time. Good. Deserved. We've got a wee inside joke between us. We're quite friendly. He sometimes calls me Dad. I refer to him as my son. He's been following his dad's footsteps quite often. He started stand-up comedy after me. He's now a tour guide like I am as well. And judging by his hairline, he just wants to be like Daddy too.
Yeah, I mean, oh, you done?
Yeah.
I mean, he does refer to me as his Canadian son, and he sometimes refers to himself as my Scottish dad. So now when I see him, I cover my drink. Yeah. Mr. Leslie is obese, diabetic, arthritic, and autistic, and will be in the starting 11 for Scotland at the World Cup. Mr. Leslie previously worked in property, but he can't find a proper t-shirt to cover that stomach. Yeah, should trim the fat jokes. Goddamn. Don't worry. It's okay. I can be mean to him. Mr. Leslie's wife is not here. She's off making his next girlfriend with his granddad.
It was good. I'm trying to work it out in my head. Coben suffers from claustrophobia. but she manages his symptoms by steadfastly remaining dog shit at comedy. So never has to perform in busy rooms, kind of like the joke he did earlier, but I wrote it as well. This is quite similar to one that happened earlier as well. Corbyn looks like he was on Epstein Island to do IT. I fucking wrote it down, so I'm doing it. Corbyn is quite similar to me. He's got a big fear of deep water, and particularly is terrified of the Mariana Trench, but that's just because it gives him flashbacks to his vaginal birth. Your mum has a big cunt. It's a joke. I don't mean to slag off his mum too much because she sounds like a saint in all honesty. She was actually an autism teacher and she taught him well. Cool.
Mr. Leslie was nominated for the Sir Billy Connolly Spirit of Glasgow Award. He's the token Edinburgh candidate that the Glaswegians hunt for sport. Mr. Leslie's other favorite comedian is Robin Williams. He wants to be just like him, which is frankly impossible. If he followed in Robin's footsteps, the rope would break. Thank you.
I've really fucked up your set by losing weight, haven't I?
Yeah. You got healthier? You're the fucking worst. Oh, God.
Right, cool. Are you?
I got more, but keep going.
No, it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Okay, thank you.
Go on, Papa.
It won't surprise you, Corbyn is not a full-time comedian. He's had lots of jobs in the past. One time he was in the kind of off-camera production of like those naff Hallmark movies. So if you ever watched one of those movies accidentally and loathe the actors for their performance, remember they're suffering too because I had to listen to Corbyn Millage pitching screenplays. One time he was also a mixologist, mixing cocktails just like Tom Cruise in that film. His signature cocktail was a half-drank Prosecco with a Rohypnol added, which he called the Bill Cosby.
Mr. Leslie has been everywhere in Edinburgh except for Leith because he heard the main street is called Leith Walk and he refuses.
You really went all in on the fat stuff.
Yeah. I literally texted him this morning. It was like, "Are fat jokes okay?" And he went, "You're gonna think I'm so sexy," which checks out for Ross, if I'm being honest. Mr. Leslie invented the deep fried Mars bar, but ate them so fast that nobody heard about them for years. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you go ahead.
I can stick my belly out if you like.
I mean, I thought you already were. Jesus. I showed up today thinking these fat jokes would work, and he turned up, and I went, "Fuck, I'm worse." Yeah, not a big fan. Carry on.
Right, so he's had a wide variety of jobs in the past. One time he worked for a debt collection agency, and he refused to continue working for them as they were trying to get £90 out of a guy with terminal cancer. He was furious as he thought he could have got more out of him. It turns out the guy was fine. The guy's tumour was benign, and he was like, "B9? That's what I tell all my girls." He's a paedophile, that's what I was. That's my last show. One time we worked in an Irish pub, but lots of customers complaining because it's not Irish enough. So I got sacked from that. Went and worked in a Chinese restaurant. Didn't make the same mistake twice.
So
eyes. That's what the joke was.
Do you want me to? No, I won't. So back when Mr. Leslie had hair, because he did have hair. Okay, so none of you believed me that he has had hair. Look, he's fucking had hair. I have proof.
God. I have no idea where you got that from. It's definitely me.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I know it's you. I didn't find it on Facebook. It was on a registry. See, in this photo, Ross looks like he's a wrestler, and he's gone wrestling. But he's not actually wrestling, he's just wrestling with the desires to fuck his uncle's wife. He was so hairy that he played the role of Bigfoot walking in the forest. And remember that between him and his uncle, this was the preferable choice. That's all I've got.
How much did that cost you?
Ross Leslie, COVID Village! Wow, visual aids!
Yes.
What a way to end the evening!
Yes. Also, to answer Ross's question, how much did this cost me? £13.50. It was worth roughly about half that, but they did give me a 10% discount for showing them the worst thing they'd ever seen in their lives. They actually paid me to take it away from them.
You spoke after the roast is finished. That's instant disqualification, I'm afraid. No, you can come back. You can come back. Thank God you came back. It's like standing between the two most abusive counsellors at my Pray Away the Gay camp. Seriously, you two are one acoustic guitar away from a sea shanty about a sunken trawler. But that's not my decision. Sure as fuck isn't yours. I think we can agree we're all horny after seeing that photo. And I can't wait till Scout sees that and sees his future.
I will be selling this for 14.
No, I'll give you 20. So, Jodie, if you will, your final marks, please. Another high-quality roast.
You guys look like the heated rivalry of a community bowling league. That was a really great roast. I feel like Coben was really at a disadvantage from you getting hotter.
Yeah. Self-improvement is the enemy of the roast, man.
Overall, I thought Coben was a bit cleaner with just his word count, but overall, I'm going to give it to Ross. Yeah. Done.
Did you just study your notes to read the word yeah? Excellent. Daniel, please.
Dabs when he comes.
That's his Red Indian name, really. Isn't it?
Dabs when he comes is some top shelf stuff. B9, that's what I tell all my girls. That's good stuff. I really have to, even if it wasn't for the jokes being slightly better, there is something so funny about only losing weight just in time for this. Turned
You've
it
earned
up
some
surprisingly
Pringles.
hot as Ross Leslie. That's a great bit. Yeah, Ross.
There you are. And finally, Ryan, please, your final marks of the evening, sir.
Again, that was good fun. There's one thing, right? I don't know why that you wearing that annoys me. Do you know what it is? I think the only thing more annoying than Ross's earring is Canadians. It's just very funny as well. You're claustrophobic and also in the closet. I thought that was good fun. I mean, Dabs when he comes is great. I very much like Ross's cheated every single time good. That felt totally unnecessary, which I found. I think everything, the break rope joke by Coben deserved more. I think a lot of anything you said about the uncle thing was very, very funny. Again, it's not a clean sweep, so I'm going for Coben, but yeah, great fun. Thank you.
Very well. Very well. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the final roast, but we're all very tired. So, if you could just clap them both as they leave the stage. There we are. Ross Leslie, Coben Village, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have some applause for all the roasters tonight. Your staff here at the Monkey Barrel. Daniel, Jodie and Ryan, your judges. We'll be back next month.
Paddy's Day. We have March 17th.
You can call it that, I can't call it that.
Yeah, Mick Day, whatever.
Guinness Celebration Day. Stereotype Celebration Day. We will be back taking the piss out of each other in defiance of that stereotype. We urge you to join us. Thank you very much. I'm Stu Mervyn. Good night.